What's up, everybody, and aloha, all you Hawaiians near, far, and everywhere in between. Excuse me. Thank you for joining me back in for another podcast episode. My name is Kale2K, and this is my podcast, A Hawaiian. So, hey Hawaiians, how you guys doing out there today? Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys got something of value, got some sort of memory, got something that you can hold on to for this week. You know, it's always important to look back on your week or your day and see what you, maybe you were spiritually uplifted, maybe you were something, came into your perspective, something that you didn't know, you learned something. Because as long as you're doing that, I believe you're growing. So it happens to me all the time. I just got to take the time to look back and see, okay, where did I make a mistake? How can I get better? Because if you're not really striving to do better and get better, then you're basically just going in a loop over and over and over. And so I hope that as you guys listen to my podcast, that you guys take that into your perspective and you're able to just grow the way you want to grow, learn what it is you want to learn. Like I've said before, if you want to learn, you want to grow, and you don't know what to do, start off with learning another language. It's always fun. Go get Rosetta Stone. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. I just think that learning another language is helpful, especially when you want to achieve something, So whatever it may be, learn a new word, learn an instrument, whatever. Just keep growing, Hawaiians. All right? Nice. Sorry, I'm clicking a lot. I'm so sorry for that. It's irritating me myself. Anyway, let's get right to it. So if you've been here before, we're going to get straight into the mana'o moment, and let's start doing that right now. Okay, so I just want to shout out to my friends, the Myers Ohana. Thank you guys for allowing me to perform for you folks at your baby shower. Congratulations, and I don't know if I can say this, but I hope nothing but the best for baby, full-term pregnancy. God's blessings upon you and your family. You guys are growing, so congratulations at that. And so I kind of wanted to just share with kind of how things went for me. So for me, if you guys don't know, I do perform, play music. I've been trying to excel in that, as well as do this podcast, performing music on the weekends and stuff like that. I play the ukulele. It's basically, I have an ukulele, a microphone, and a looper, and some speakers. That's basically it. And I try to perform, entertain, talk story, whatever it can be, to just to be an entertainer. I enjoy it. I love it. And it would not have been possible without my wife, who has put me out there, who has started off my promotion. Now I'm trying to learn how she finds all these different things going on promotion-wise and try to put my name in the hat so that people can take a look at what I do and hopefully bring me back for other events. And over time, I'm getting better and better and better. But anyways, for this baby shower, I had so much fun. I thought I was going to be late just because of work and everything like that. But thankfully, I got there on time. I was able to set up quickly. And I felt good about, my performance. One thing I learned to do was to create a set list, come in there prepared. And it's taught me that the more preparation I have, the more maybe notes I take, however I want to, work on what I perform and how I'm going to perform it. The more I practice that, the more I prepare for it, the easier it becomes and the better my performance comes out to be. And with that being said, being at this baby shower really meant something important to me. It meant that I wasn't playing in a restaurant. You know what I mean? I wasn't playing, because that's where I'm started out right now. I currently play at Hapa's Ohana Barbecue Grill in Linden, Utah. And then I got asked to perform at this other local restaurant, Hawaii branded kind of restaurant called Hunger Hawaiian, which is in Provo. So I'm thankful to those two establishments, those two different restaurants that allow me to perform for them and their guests and entertain them and just have fun. Okay, and anyways, this baby shower really opened up my eyes to the possibilities of, hey, the more you work, the more you, Kalei, I'm telling myself, Kalei, the more you work, the harder you practice, the better you get at it, and the quicker you get at you get at your talent or your skill. So the more opportunities you will have to perform at different places, to perform at restaurants, to perform at local events, to perform at like Ho'olaulea, to perform at main events in little cities, or to perform at people's weddings, baby showers, like what I was able to do. And it really opened my eyes to that opportunity and pushed me to do better, to critique myself, my skill, work on what I can do as far as with this looper or with my skill that I have. Take notes down in my tablet, like as I'm reading through the lyrics. So currently this is what I'm doing. I'm reading through the lyrics. I'm learning how to play it in my head. I'm writing everything down, where I can pause, where I can start my looper, how I can end my looper, throw in a bass line, throw in a beat, stuff like that. So I can be entertaining wise, be more, what's the term? Be more, shoot, I can't remember, not sporadic, but be more, have a broader horizon on the abilities I'm able to do. And afterwards, I just couldn't believe that it happened. It was a free gig. You know, I didn't expect my friends to pay, but I paid my respects to them, and this was my gift to them. Thank you guys once again for asking me to perform, because now the people that came to that party that didn't know who I was, that, you know, some of them I never met before, they actually said, "Hey, bro, you did a good job. Thank you for performing songs that we haven't heard in a long time," because living up here in Utah, we don't have that local music all the time like we used to back home in Hawaii. So I played a lot of Hawaiian music, a lot of old school music. And one uncle came up to me. He's like, "Yo, I haven't heard that in such a long time. Thank you for performing that. Thank you for playing that." And it got my name out there. Whether or not people will contact me, I don't mind. I don't know. I don't care. But for the most part, I'm happy that that has happened. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy that I was able to put myself out there. Maybe they'll call my friends and they'll make a connection to me, or maybe they'll look me up on social media and they'll be able to find me, contact me, message me, and we could push that forward. Overall, I thought it was a good performance. However, I did have a little issue with this little girl came on stage and tried to like touch my stuff. Eventually, you know, and it's sad to put this out there, but eventually I had to, like, you know, put my foot down and tell this this little girl that she has to stop, and, you know, call. I was like, "Oh, excuse me, parents, can you come upstairs? Can you come up here and grab your kid? Like, somebody please come grab their child." Like, I understand it's a baby shower. I understand it's a low. It's not even a low budget. It's like just family and friends. But at the same time, like, I'm trying to be professional. I'm trying to do what my friends have asked me to do, and if you're gonna have a kid come up here who may be related to my friends and them, it doesn't matter to me. You should respect the talent, or respect the person who's trying to perform, who's trying to entertain, who's trying to do something on stage that, you know, is a gift to my friends. That's how I saw it. I was like, hey, I may not have a lot to give to my friends, but what I can give is who I am and what I perform and what I do. And so that's where I started getting a little edgy, started getting a little upset. But the parents came, they took care of this child, got this child off stage. I appreciated that, because growing up, I've always been around this. I've always been around music. My dad was an entertainer. My uncles and my dad made a group called the Kamal Lama Lama Brothers. They had their own CD, all this stuff. So we used to go and we used to watch them. Me and my brother used to watch them all the time. And we would be on stage some of the time to put equipment together, sound check, all that stuff. But we grew up knowing that, hey, you don't go on stage when somebody's performing. That's rude. First of all, that's rude. Second of all, we don't want kids touching the equipment, messing up sounds or whatever. And then this is expensive stuff. You know, this is hard. Like I worked to earn every piece of equipment that I have, from the ukulele strings down to the cables that I use. I earned everything. And if something were to happen, that's my earnings, my hard work, my talent and time and effort that I put into getting this equipment to be better, to perform better, to put on a better show. That gets damaged. That goes down the drain. That's money. Okay. And I saw it as, that's how I had to see it, because that's how I was taught to be respectful, to be presentable, to know that this is not a place to play up here, especially around equipment that's expensive. And then as an entertainer, having fun when you do it. You know, my wife is always, I have this hard thing with confidence. I have such a hard concept of trying to be confident around, you know, certain aspects, especially when I perform, or, you know, I can talk, I can chit chat, I can do all that stuff, but to perform, to sing in front of people, my wife has told me, like, she said, Kalei, you can play the songs. Of course, you don't know the words all the time. That's why I have lyrics with me all the time. But at the same time, when you sing, you need to sing with confidence. You need to know that, hey, you're up there for a reason. People want to hear you. People want to see you. People want to, listen to your voice. Go out there and perform to the best of your abilities. Do not hold back. And every time I've been performing, she's always told me that. Even if she's not there, she'll text me and say, good luck tonight. Play with confidence. Be confident in yourself. This is what you wanted to do. Now is your opportunity. Basically is what she tells me all the time. And so, I am working on that as a person, working on that as an individual, being more confident, learning to stand my ground, learning to be firm in myself and in my surroundings, but also not be a jerk, I guess you could say. So I'm working on that too. But overall, I just want to say the baby shower was an awesome event. And hopefully something else happens from that. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully their friend or family member that, they come in contact with will be like, hey, who's that Hawaiian guy that was playing music for you? I want to do so-and-so, this and that. And I want to see if he can perform for me and my kids, So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And of course, I'm going to talk about it here on my podcast. So so I'm excited. This is very exciting for me because I did get a couple offers already to perform at different events, a birthday, a wedding, whatever it may be, so just constantly working at it. So this is what I'm trying to tell you folks out there. If you have a skill, you have a talent, you have something you want to do, go out there and push it, okay? Even if you don't get paid for it. Half of the time I want to perform. If somebody's like, Clay, I need you to perform, okay, I'll perform. I'll do it. I would like to get paid. Yes, I would. But the opportunity is exposure. A lot of times it just is exposure. You might not get paid for it, whatever it may be. It's exposure. Like I performed at Pacifica Days or whatever, some event up in Salt Lake City. Not paid for. It was just a little art gallery, Polynesian art gallery, that asked if I could perform, and I said, yeah, sure. I didn't know if I was getting paid or not. They said, oh no, this is not a paid event. This is just to promote you. I said, you know what, let's still do it. And I went and people came in, sat down, listened to me play music. And this was when I started out. So now if I was to go there again, I think a lot more people would come and enjoy. And I've got a little bit more equipment that I can use to my advantage to help me promote that more. So looking forward to more and more events coming up. Let's see. Okay, so this week, I guess one of the craziest things that happened was, and something that I had to reflect on, was culture. Okay, and being a Hawaiian, born and raised in the islands, moving to Utah, living in a habitat environment that I'm not used to, learning how to get comfortable to that, and trying to perpetuate the Hawaiian culture that I grew up with to my kids. For me, when you ask me what does culture mean to me, it means who I am. It doesn't mean what food I eat or what songs I sing. All that does play a role, yeah. But when you say, your culture, it tells me that who are you? That's basically what you're asking. Who are you? And I always identify myself as I'm a Hawaiian, first and foremost. Yes, I have other mixed breeds inside of me. I'm German, Chinese, Portuguese. I don't know what else. Samoan, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, when you ask me that question, what does culture mean to you? It means my identity as who I am as a person, where I come from, how I live my life, and how I try to share that culture with my kids. And the reason why I'm bringing this back up again, I know I've talked about it before, is because I had the blessed opportunity to perform at this restaurant called Hungry Hawaiian. Now, when we got there, I just set up. I've been there. I played there once or twice before, and I set my things up. And I was like, okay, we're gonna play. We're gonna play this set list. I'm gonna do my best. And the more I play, the better I get. Right. So I'm playing. I'm having fun. This Hawaiian lady walks in with her haole husband and their kids. They all come in. I keep playing. They're listening to, they're like, he's playing Uncle Iz. He's playing, all these other different groups from back home. Kelly Reichel, John Cruz, all these different songs, all these, old timer songs, old school songs. Anyway, we ended up later on talking. They asked me, "Oh, where are you from, bro?" I said, "Oh, I'm from Oahu, from the west side of Oahu. Born and raised there. Moved to the Big Island. Married my wife, who's from the Big Island." And it's funny because this lady that came into the restaurant, this Hawaiian lady, she said, "Really? You're from the Big Island?" I go, "Yeah, my family comes from Keoka." We ended up talking story real quick, just real fast. I said, "Okay, you want to know more? Talk to my wife." Come to find out, fast forward towards the end of the night, my wife and this lady are related. Now, here's the cool thing. When I was performing and I kind of did a little chit chat in the performance, I told these other guests who had come, weren't of Hawaiian bloodline, and at least as far as I know, as far as they know. But I told them, "Hey, this is what we do in Hawaii. This is who we are. Anytime we see another Hawaiian, we meet up, we talk story, and we end up finding out that we're related. Like that was our thing. That's part of our culture. That's how our life is. Like you go into Hawaii, especially my wife's grandma, she has like this long genealogy. She can pick who's related and this and that and who they're related to. And that's really cool. Big time genealogy with us. And if you don't understand what that means and what that stands as far as my culture as a Hawaiian, there's a chant called the Kumulipo, which is like a 2,000 line chant that talks about how the gods and the chiefs are related and all the bloodlines and all that stuff. So take a look at that if you want to take a look. I'm not going to go through it. It's too long. But anyways, culture-wise, that was something that I grew up around. That's something that, I want to share with our kids. Like, okay, this is a thing that we do. We find the line. We find the genealogy. We find who's related to who. Because we can make that connection. And then it brings us closer to, okay, this is your extended family. And so like for my wife's situation, this lady is related to her, which means she's related to my kids, which means she's related to my wife's father, all these other things, which is awesome. And the coolest thing about it is that when you find these types of moments, these types of opportunity to perpetuate your culture, to live your culture, to talk your culture out, and to find family members, you just got to look at the circumstance that took place during that time. This lady, and her and her family are from California. Well, she's originally from Hawaii, of course. They live in California. They came to Utah because their son, graduated from BYU in film. We got to talking and I was like, okay, that's cool. And they were only in town for this past weekend, meaning they only came to Hungry Hawaiian for this event to celebrate their son. Now, what are the odds of that? This lady driving in, picking up her son from graduation, sitting down here at the table. I'm there performing. My wife wasn't sure if she was going to come. She eventually said, okay, I'm going to come. And that, we made the connection. That's an opportunity. That's a blessing that we were able to connect that. Now, my wife has more family she knows about now that she can identify face to face. On top of that, speaking more about culture, her kids went to Kamehameha schools and dormed there. Just like Harry Potter, there were dormitories at Kamehameha schools. I was a boarder. I dormed there as well. They dormed out of California and were there at the school, graduated from Kamehameha schools, Oahu. And I thought it was really cool. But it also told me, what am I doing for my kids? Okay. The haole husband, who was a very nice guy, he picks up pidgin language easy. So he starts talking to me, right? He starts sharing his stories about, when he was in California, he and his wife had made a decision, we're going to teach our kids, the Hawaiian culture as best we can. And he said, okay, and he's able to learn another language, right? So he was a missionary in Spain. And so he spoke Spanish. And I guess he was into, okay, how deep are we going to teach our kids Hawaiian? Because if we're going to talk Hawaiian, we're going to speak pidgin, we're going to speak, Hawaiian language, how deep do we want to go? And so they ended up sharing more about their insights and how they were able to help their kids. They started halau. The wife was a kumuhula, basically a hula teacher. She taught whoever was there to teach, whoever wanted to learn. She taught them Hawaiian culture values, made ipus out of like simple stuff, just stuff that she could perpetuate the culture in the simplest of ways. Even at the schools that she attended, where she wasn't going to be able to get paid or the schools couldn't fund her, she still shared that with other people so that eventually kids in her neighborhood knew who she was, knew that she was going to do a halau, knew that she was a Hawaiian lady who was sharing the culture that she had, not just with her own kids and having them live that type of lifestyle, but sharing with everyone around her so that they understand who we are as a Hawaiian people. And so it came back onto my shoulders, like, what am I doing to share that with my kids? And I part of me is, we teach our kids right now, we're teaching them some Hawaiian words. After this experience, that my wife and I had at the Hungry Hawaiian restaurant, she and I have talked about, let's talk more Hawaiian. Let's use more Hawaiian words. Let's do this. And I said, okay, that's fine. I can do that. Let's share more Hawaiian stuff. Like, Kale, you gotta teach our girls more Hawaiian songs, or and it's true. I should. I know the songs. I've played them my whole life. I've listened to them my whole life. I can play them. I can perform them. I can listen to them. I can pick them up. Okay, I will do that. And even if it's something small that passes it on to our kids, then great. Because I didn't learn Hawaiian language from my family, my parents. I learned it through music. I learned it through just small words here and there, through friends or whatever, like just all that kind of stuff. I didn't learn the Hawaiian language. I still don't know it, but little words here and there that I do remember, little phrases that I do remember, I can share that with my kids to the best of my abilities. And then I also did perform hula before. So I got to get back into that, because I feel like if I can share this with my girls, because they're starting to dance around me when I'm performing my music anyway, and they've had an interest in like learning. They're like, oh, I want to learn hula, Dad. Okay, Clay, they're asking you to help them. No one else is around here right now. What are you going to do to help them cling onto the Hawaiian culture, something that they want, something that they have a desire for? So, okay, so now I got to practice so I can share. I got to get better so I can share, and give that to my daughters, because maybe, who knows, one day I'll perform and they'll want to come up and, Dad, can you play the song? I want to dance. I want to perform a hula for everybody to see. And when that day, if it does ever happen, I will be so happy. I will be so proud, because this is my child who's not raised in Hawaii, who is changing things for us as a Hawaiian culture, who is perpetuating her Hawaiian culture the best way she knows how. And if that's going to be dancing, performing, talking, whatever it may be, I had a little bit of an influence on her to let her be proud enough to stand before other people and perform a hula for them. That is something special to me. That is something that I think shows my culture, shows my daughter's culture, and shows what, how important it is not to just hold on to it, but to share it. Okay? And then that's all the good stuff about culture. And on top of that culture, we had a deep conversation with our friends, and I was asked, we talked about culture again. This time we're just hanging out at our friend's house. So my Hawaiian friend married a haole lady. They love each other dearly, deeply, and we were just kind of sharing, we're talking, opening up, right? So she said, the thing I like most about Polynesian people is you guys are so humble and hardworking, and you're grateful for what you have. You guys barely ask for anything. You guys say, we're okay, we deal with what we have. And it's true. A lot of us grew up that way. A lot of us were taught, I was taught, no matter what you have, be grateful for what you have, because you could have nothing. And that's what I've been taught my whole life. So, and yes, it's good to be humble. Yes, it's good to be grateful for the things you have. But this is what my friend's wife was telling us. She said, the only thing is, you accept less than what you are valued at. And I didn't understand. I had the hardest time. And she said, Kale, you make X amount of money, but you deserve Y and Z amount of money. And your wife knows it, and we know it. And we've told, this is just something that you as your Polynesians as a culture, because we had Samoan friends, my friend is Hawaiian, your in-laws are Samoans, all this stuff. So when she said that, it really hit me. She said, Kale, you need, and my wife has always been pushing me to ask for, more money from my boss, or a better position, or, something that I can increase the wage, because she knows that I work hard. My boss knows I work hard. I know I work hard, but it was tough for me to ask to ask for more money because I was taught, never ask. You work, you be grateful for what you have, because there was always that fear that you could never have anything. Now, the circumstances are different. When my father was teaching me this and my mother was teaching me this, we lived in Hawaii. And yes, it's a scarcity there because you could lose everything. You know, that was the mentality, and still, it might be still today, but the mentality there was, you got a job, keep it. Be grateful that you have a job. And then people would stay in that job for years. I've known people who have been in Walmart for 25 years. It's not what they wanted to do in life, but they've worked there because that was what they got. That was the job opportunity, and they don't want to go anywhere else because they don't want to lose the job opportunity that they've been given. And I feel the same way here, but now I live in Utah. It's hard for me to open my eyes and realize, Clay, if you don't get this job or this raise that you're requesting, there are other jobs who will look for you because you are a hard worker and you deserve to get paid what you make, what you earn, your value is better than what you are looking at, Clay. Your value is more than what you are getting, and you need to fight for that. And so recently I did ask my boss for a raise. It was tough. I cried to my wife, and I text messages. So I made a text to my boss and asked him, because if he has it in writing and I have it in writing, we're both on the same page. We cannot be like, oh no, but I thought you said this, or you thought. That's why I texted him. And overall, I cried. It was the hardest thing I could ever do. Ask another man for more money. And I've never done that before. Like I was saying, I was taught, never ask for more. Be grateful for what you have. That was always the thing. Be grateful, be grateful. But my wife really pushed me. She said, Calais, you gotta do this. You have to do this. You have to do this. And I did it. We're still in negotiation as far as that goes. But she said, your boss knows you're a hard worker. He knows you work hard. He knows that you come into work and you clean before you start your job. Then you start your job. And when you come back, when you're done with your job, you clean again. And it's true, I do. That's my job. That's what I do. And you see, but you don't get paid to clean, Calais. You don't get paid to do someone else's job, even though you have to do it in order for you to start your job. You know that they do a crappy job there, but you still go to work. You do somebody else's job who should have done it right the first time. Then you go on and you do your route. You do your job that you're supposed to do, that you're getting paid for. You're not getting paid to clean. You're not getting paid to do this, but you do the extra because that's who you are. And that helps you organize yourself to do the job that you've been paid for. But you deserve so much more because of that extra effort you put into your job. I said, yeah, you know what? You're right. I should. Even though it was tough, I did it. And I cried to my wife because I felt like I was doing something wrong. And she reinstilled in me, Calais, you're not doing anything wrong. And she said, and she always told me this, she's like, that's the hardest thing about our culture, is you guys don't know how to ask for what you are valued at. And so yeah, there are good parts to it, and there's also bad parts to the culture that I am from. And breaking some of those bad habits, though they are good intentions, can be tough for other people. And so my whole thing, like I said, is to push yourself, to push your ambitions, to push your value out there so that others can see, oh, he asked for this. He's doing this. Why can't I do it? I know this lady. I don't know her personally. But when I played in Salt Lake City at this Pacifica place, she was promoting plants. Just plants. She had like 3 plants. She loved plants, and she loved teaching people. She loved how it grew. She loved how to nurture it, how to care for it, what kind of sunlight, what kind of soil, all this stuff. That was her desire. That was her hobby. Now she got featured in Utah's, the news on Utah. She's being invited to all these different events. She holds seminars, classes, all because she started from 3 little plants that she brought to this little event. But it was something she had. She knew that she had a valuable thing here, and she was willing to work for it. She was willing to put effort into it, to put herself out there, to get more people to look at her. And she's booming. She's booming. Okay, and I hope to catch up to her. You know, I see her on social media. I always comment on, I always like her photos or her events that she posts, because it's like, it's like I have a buddy who's working just as hard as me. Well, I'm not just as hard as me, harder than me to get to where she is now. And because you were in the trenches, you were both there. I had one speaker and an ukulele and a plug-in, and I did my best to perform. Now I've got a little bit more equipment, a little bit more people know who I am. I'm promoting myself a little bit more, but she's excelling past me, and that's great. I cheer her on to keep going. And for us as a Polynesian people, we should do the same. A lot of us are taught to just be humble, keep your mouth shut, don't disagree, work, and this and that. But a lot of times, we need to open our mouths. We need to say what's on our mind. We need to express who we are, how we feel, how we want to be valued more, how we deserve. We work hard. We deserve to get more. We deserve to have a bigger house. And we're going to work to get it. We deserve to get the things that we have. And no one can take that away from you. If you honestly earn it and you honestly work hard for it, don't ever think that you're in value, like your value is less than what you are. And if you don't work hard, then yeah, you can't complain. If you don't work hard and you don't push yourself and you're mad that you're getting paid $18 an hour when you think you should be getting paid 20, 25, 22, whatever, dollars an hour, then you put the work in to show people that this is what I'm worth. And you will know my worth by how I act. Just like you will know somebody, not just by what they say or, by their friends, but observe them. How do they act? You will know them by their actions, by what they do on a day-to-day basis. And if you honestly work hard for what you want, I honestly do believe that you will achieve it. There may be people in your way along that way. There may be people who stomp on you along the way. But if you dust that off and you keep moving, you'll get there. I've already experienced a few people that don't care for me and I don't care for them. Already in this music stuff that I'm doing. But it's okay. I keep moving forward. I keep relying on my wife to keep giving me confidence. She's oh my gosh, she is my Mama Noodleman. Nana Noodleman, sorry, from Sing. She's my confidence. She's the one that puts this into my brain and says, well, you can either complain and nothing happens, nothing changes, or you can complain and you can fight for what you want. But either way, that is your choice. You have to live with that consequence. If you're gonna complain about it, you might as well go after it. If you're gonna fight for something, don't fight and sit still. Fight and move forward. And that's what my wife was telling me over and over and over. Kali, you got to be confident. Kali, you are better than this. Kali, you are this, and I'm so thankful for that. Because I know that I wouldn't be where I'm at now if it wasn't for her. Okay? Oh, Lord, geez Louise. I'm so sorry. I kind of went overboard. But anyways, we're going to speed this up, okay? Yeah, so that's exactly what happened to me. And thank you, babe, for giving me that confidence that I need. All right, now, next section in the podcast. It's news to me. A good thing these questions are short, okay? So I know this past, on the 20th, April 20th, 2022, it's what the heck is it called? Earth Day, right? 420. So I never knew what Earth Day was. All I knew was people would just smoke weed, Bob Marley, all that other stuff. Just basically the outskirts of what it truly was about, right? So I looked it up. I said, who invented Earth Day and why? Okay, so here's my question. According to EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency of the United States, the first Earth Day was in April 1970. In the spring of 1970, Senator Gaylord Nelson created Earth Day as a way to force issues pertaining to Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, things to help the environment and the earth grow in a positive direction. Okay, so like back in the day, they didn't have Clean Air Acts, or pollution-wise or anything like that. They weren't monitoring that. They weren't trying to care for that environment. Clean Water Act, they weren't pushing that at that time. They weren't looking toward the people like, okay, maybe we shouldn't be giving you guys poisoned water. Okay, so that's kind of the thoughts that they were going through. And so he created this day to address those issues, to bring that to the forefront of social talk or whatever, political talk or whatever it may be, so that people can recognize that, hey, this day is important. Now we have a designated day where this issues pertaining to the environment we live in, our habitats, our wildlife, the air we breathe, the water we drink, the dirt we step in, all these things. We need to bring that forward and see, are we doing the best we can to preserve the earth that we live on? Or are we just tearing through it and not giving a damn what happens? So all these environmental groups that come or that have been all benefit from this day. So I didn't know that. So I figured I'd share that with you guys because it's pretty cool to me. All right. So last thing. So that's it for the news. Here we go. Thought bucket. Let's get right to it. If you don't know what it is, it's basically my thoughts in a bucket. Pretty simple, right? Thought bucket. Thought bucket. Let's go. Okay. Here we go. Okay, here is the thought bucket question. It says, would you allow your kids to watch the shows we grew up with watching? So I'm talking more along the lines of like Family Matters, Fresh Prince, like reality kind of sitcom TV shows, Home Improvement. Yeah, I would, because I grew up with that stuff. That I didn't catch all the innuendos, all the hidden meanings and stuff like that. I didn't care for that stuff. But I did catch the fact that they were talking about family, talking about, real life issues. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I love that show. It was very funny. I loved Family Matters, how, Steve Urkel he's this awkward kid. Not really many people want to be around him. But he's good friends with one of the top athletes in his school. He has a crush on his the athlete's sister. He's got a friend, a neighbor friend who's a police officer, and he's got like a mama of the neighborhood. So like he's got everything there. Obviously they find this kid weird. He's an outcast amongst his own peers, but they love him. And when you peel back the glasses, you peel back the nerdiness, you peel back the awkwardness the social awkwardness that he has when he walks into the room, you see that he's a genuine person. You see that he's someone who has ambition, someone who loves deeply. And for my girls, I want them to understand that. It's not about what you put on, not about what you look like. Like I said, it's about what's in your heart. And so I've always told my girls that. Because my daughter, my oldest daughter, she has missing fingers, she has missing toes, but she is so beautiful. Her smile can melt men just by being around her. She's lively, she's loving, she's a beautiful girl, but she struggles sometimes with seeing how she looks compared to her sisters. She doesn't do it as much now, but there were times where my heart would break because of what I saw her going through. Oh, sorry for crying. But I could tell she was ashamed. And every time I would come to her, I said, baby, I am not ashamed of you. Do not be ashamed of yourself. I said, look at Daddy. Daddy's overweight. Daddy cannot breathe. Daddy has eczema. Don't be like me. Don't put yourself down. You are beautiful. You went through a lot before you could even walk. You went through more than most people will have to ever experience in their life. But do not be ashamed of how you look. People may tease you. I was straight up with her. I said, people may tease you. People may not even like you. But you show them your heart, and hopefully they will understand you. You will find the people who love you. You will find those who care about you because you are a good person, because your heart is in the right place. Doesn't matter what you look like. As long as your heart is good, it will work out. Now, I'm not telling you it's gonna be easy. I'm not telling you everyone's gonna like you. That's just the world. But you find the ones who do, who love you without doubt. And that's what you will need them in your life. Hold on to them. Just like Steve Urkel. Looks awkward, talks awkward, does weird things, way too smart for certain people. But when you peel all of that back and you find the human being under there, the man himself, who Steve Urkel is to his core, you realize that he loves, he's compassionate, he's friendly. He just wants people to be happy when he's around. That's it. That is it. And yes, to answer that question, I would let my kids watch those type of shows because it teaches them values that they can, hopefully, if they have to get into that situation, they know how to deal with it. Okay? Sorry for crying on you guys. Hope you guys have a great week. Once again, my name is Khalid2K. Look me up on all social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Let me check if I've got any upcoming dates. Let's see, the upcoming date, I'll be performing at Hapa's this weekend, Saturday, April 30th. Come on down if you guys don't have anything else better to do. Come and eat. Come and enjoy yourself. Bring somebody you care about. Look me up on all social media, including Facebook. I have a musicians page. Take a look at that. I post there as well. If you guys want, take a look at my milkshake page. Basically, it's like a simple profile on website. You can click on it. It'll have icons with different links to my social media platforms. Go ahead and look at that as well. It's msha.ke. Okay, that's msha.ke/Kalei2K. All right, Kalei 2K. Once again, that's msha.ke/Kalei, the number 2, the letter K. All right, so it's got my link to YouTube, link to other social medias, my Instagram as well. Has a small little about me and all this other stuff. So click and follow my account. Hope you guys enjoy it. And then, of course, on YouTube and on Instagram, pay attention because I post these up there too, little snippets or whatever it may be, shorts or just a quick post. I ask questions on there too because I like to hear you guys' responses. So if you guys can do that, go ahead and do that. Participate. It'll be simple questions like, oh, would you let your kids watch the shows you grew up with? And what kind of culture, how do you share your culture with those around you? Stuff like that. So, and then look up Instagram or Facebook for upcoming events that I have. Like I said, I'm performing at Hapa's Ohana Barbecue Grill located in Linden, Utah. So if you go ahead and look that up on Google, Hapa's Ohana Barbecue Grill, Linden, Utah, you'll be able to find the address. And then I'll see you there this weekend. All right? Take it easy, everybody. That's pretty much it. So once again, signing off. Khalid2K here. Hope you guys have a great week ahead of you. Learn something important. Take that with you. Value it. Share it with somebody else if you need to. Answer the questions I'm putting out there on social media. Hope you guys have a great weekend once more. Hope you guys have another great week once again. And like I always say, spread aloha, not hate. All right, everybody, take it easy. Aloha. Yee!